Martin Scorsese's crime thriller The Departed gave the veteran film director his first and as of yet only Oscar win. The movie follows Leonardo DiCaprio's Billy and Matt Damon's Colin as they look to navigate their way through life avoiding detection and exposure as undercover agents. Billy, an undercover cop in Jack Nicholson's Irish Gang, and Colin, an officer in the Boston police force, secretly working for Nicholson's Frank Costello. In and amongst these shootouts, the betrayals, the lies and deception, an all-important question has arisen. Was Colin a gay? This is actually quite a popular fan theory, and one of the most discussed aspects of the movie, another being whether the gangster Delahunt was actually an undercover cop, something which I've already made a video on. Despite being married to Vera Farmiga, many do believe that Colin was in the closet. So let's take a look at this claim and see if we can come up with an answer. First of all, let's collate the possible evidences which point to Colin batting for the other side. Number 1. When he was a kid, he was an altar boy at a Boston church. Okay, I'm not even going to touch that one. Actually, I will say that Costello does actually bring up abuse in the church to a priest. Maybe Colin was abused as a child and it messed him up sexually. Anyway, early on in the film, during a sports game between the police force and firefighters, Colin repeatedly uses homophobic slurs, calling the firemen fucking queers and then fucking homos. And a while later after the game, he repeats the slur, saying fucking firefighters are a bunch of homos, seemingly with no provocation or reason to do so. This obviously doesn't instantly label Colin as a gay, but it's worth noting as it's a cliché character trait of extremely homophobic characters in movies and TV shows to be secretly gay themselves. Later on, there's an awkward exchange with a real estate agent when Colin is checking out the place that will eventually be his new home. The estate agent asks if Colin is married after mentioning that he's a cop, signalling that this is a big apartment. Colin gets noticeably irritated, snapping back that he has a cosigner, and there's multiple ways to interpret this scene. One, of course, being that Colin is annoyed at the idea that he wouldn't be able to afford the place on his own with the pay of a cop, and his cosigner, or the guy putting up the cash for the place, is of course Frank Costello. However, if you subscribe to the gay theory, this could be one of the many clues of Colin's hidden homosexual tendencies, given his irritated nature at the question of marriage being brought up, and the realtor saying, "Oh, I get it, you tend to have a house guest," can also imply that he has clicked that Colin is gay. And then there's this exchange between Colin and Captain Ellaby, played by Alec Baldwin.
How's your wedding coming along?
Great. She's a doctor.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Yeah.
Marriage is an important part of getting ahead. Lets people know you're not a homo. Married guy seems more stable. People see the ring, they think at least somebody can stand the son of a bitch. Ladies see the ring, they know immediately you must have some cash and your cock must work.
Yeah, it's working. Overtime.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, the term homo is referenced in this scene, with Ellaby specifically stating that getting married lets people know you're not gay, which could be the reason why Colin gets married in the first place, in that no one will suspect his gayness. And on the topic of cocks working, and perhaps the biggest indicator that Colin's favourite Sopranos character is Vito, is the scene between him and Vera Farmiga's Madolyn, where after an awkward silence, she asks whether he wants to talk about last night, and then says it's alright, guys tend to make too big a deal out of it, it's actually quite common, and then Colin quickly says he has to go to work and leaves. Interesting. Maybe some viewers also want to make something of the apparent phallic imagery of Madolyn peeling a banana, taking it out and eating it. In another scene, Colin awaits Frank Costello at an adult theatre and seems to be the only person in the audience uninterested in the shenanigans going on screen. In fact, he actually looks pretty disgusted and uncomfortable by it. Near the end of the film, it is revealed that Madolyn is pregnant, and though it's heavily implied that the baby is actually Billy's, Colin of course doesn't know this. When Madolyn tells him, his reaction can be interpreted as genuine disbelief. There's a few other small little things here and there also, like Costello shoving a dildo in Colin's direction and joking, "See anything you like." That obviously doesn't mean Costello thinks Colin is gay, but it might be the film trying to tell us something. Some people even think that Colin whistling at a woman's arse after ensuring that someone is watching him do this also signals that he is a gay man trying to pass as straight. So as you can see, there are a few pointers that lead in the direction of Colin being gay, and for the sake of discussion, it's a conversation worth having.